Guys, welcome, guys. We are live on YouTube and also on Telegram, guys. How are you guys doing today? Welcome, guys. Welcome, noon. And yeah, let's set up this other. Interesting news today, guys. Bullish news. So we're gonna go over all of those today. How's everyone doing today? Welcome, noon. Welcome, Matt, Rios, Drill, Lexus, Crypto Shrek, Dev, Cillian, Base Dev, Duck, Steph, CJ, Crypto, Drastic, Dive, Jim, DJ Crypto, Dick Smith, Shadow Sentinel, Ethan, Kelly, Hakeem, Master, MZ, Jay, Joel, Martin, Big Legacy, and Raphael. Joel, I'm not sure if you've seen the chat, but I did mention for you to choose a username. Let me put this camera on. Okay. Should be live. It's interesting time, guys. Let's do this. Someone's mic is on. This- Yeah, apparently the camera wants to work when it wants to work. So we may do this live without the camera, guys. No need to see my face anyway. You've seen me plenty times. So let's get going. What was that, guys? Okay, most important thing today, guys, is the dollar is collapsing. Um, this is very important, and it's actually helping crypto because people are now, uh, countries are choosing not to use the US dollar. So now demand is dropping and it's also crashing the US dollar. So if we take a look at past few months ago, we made some predictions here. We're going to focus on two videos to understand what's happening and how it's related to Bitcoin, guys. One video that was made about 9 months ago showed there's more videos created about the US dollar collapsing prediction, but these are the most two important ones we're going to be focusing on. Let's see here. We'll find another one. The reason why it's good for crypto is because uh, we're now starting to see the value of real money. The US dollar, once it collapses, well, it's already starting to collapse. Once it fully start accelerating and dropping, then it's going to drag all of the other world currencies with it, down with it. So because it's the reserve currency, and then this is the reason why gold and silver is mooning right now. As you can see, the dollar's collapsing. We made many predictions about this. So a lot of you guys should understand what's happening. Let's see, silver is at $116 and climbing. These candles. It didn't even retrace. It just kept on going. So it just shows you everyone's fleeing to safety. So the only real money is silver, gold, and Bitcoin. And obviously, Bitcoin is more valuable currently than silver and gold because it's not just money. Silver and gold is money. Also, Bitcoin and crypto is money. But precious metals can't be used for transactions. They can't be used the same way we are using uh, bank transfers and transactions, the way we're conducting transactions. So the only way we can do that is with crypto and Bitcoin. So this is why Bitcoin is more valuable than silver and gold because it's not just money, it's also a payment system. So obviously in this society we do need payment system. This is the same reason why we have digital money and you can pay whenever you go to the store, you can pay with your phone, Google Pay, Apple Pay, and with crypto, it's just a transition from that, from using fiat currency into using cryptocurrencies. So now that we're seeing the dollar collapsing, everyone's fleeing to safety, which is silver, gold. So why silver is mooning. But all of the attention is about to be focused on Bitcoin and crypto, guys. So let's watch this video. Even I don't remember what I said in this video. So let's see. Knowledge and wisdom. Assist you. So guys, I have some emergency information for you. Emergency update. Uh, it looks like because of the tariffs that that has caused the collapse of the US dollar. Remember, I've been telling you guys the USDT is about to crash. This is the beginning, and now because the dollar is going to crash, the reason it's crashing, and the reason it's going to crash is because um, of the tariffs that's been implemented. So all these countries, remember, I mentioned this video here, like for you guys to take a look at this video. This is what I explained about a few months ago, even a few years ago, um, where I mentioned it's going to be a Bitcoin war between countries, banks, and institutions. Right now, we are not just country that's, get, that's getting into Bitcoin. And the reason for this is because of the tariffs, so countries will no longer be trading using the US dollar. They will be trading. Is the volume okay, guys? How's the volume? Let's check the comments here. How's the audio, guys? Is the audio good? All right, again. Between them Bitcoin. So all the countries are now about to buy Bitcoin, and that's going to fuel the market tax. Now it's no longer banks and institutions. Now it's the banks are about to FOMO into Bitcoin. So this is what we're see the market just explode. So we're going to look for about 250K areas, 200K. This is will be the top where we should be getting out of the markets. And right now, the reason why the market is dumping as heavy as it is because these countries are buying. So after the so much buys has been accumulated, then we'll see the price reflects in the chart. So that's going to so we just gonna see these long candles, one daily candles, um, or maybe from 80K to 100. I'm not sure how's the audio, guys, but let's take a look at the US dollar, which is the most important topic of discussion right now because it's good for Bitcoin. So as the dollar collapsing, then we should see obviously gold, silver pumping, and also Bitcoin pumping. So the reason why Bitcoin is not pumping is because of heavy manipulations. So I believe we are at a point where they not going to be able to control the market. They're not going to be able to manipulate it anymore. Where Bitcoin is just going to shoot to all-time high. The same way silver is pumping, this is what we're expecting for Bitcoin as well on the monthly time frame and also the weekly time frame. So now we should be getting a correction on silver, and then that's going to bring Bitcoin back up, guys. That's how fast it's going to go because countries will no longer be buying the dollar to trade if they're going to be trading only with cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin. This is going to fuel more money into the crypto space. This is where we're going to see these godly candles. Countries create godly candles by buying a lot of billions of dollars at a time. So we're about to see the entire globe, every country start trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as they possibly can so they can trade between them with Bitcoin with other countries. So prepare, guys. This is going to be some very, very high volatility in the market. Um, this is where the wealth is, guys. This is going to create the wealth because we are about to amass majority of all the money these countries are putting into uh, Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin. Majority of the wealth is going to us, guys. So be prepared for all the wealth be accumulated in our community. So um, this is the emergency. So start watching the U.S. dollar, how it starts collapsing, and that will cause also hyperinflation. So remember I said in the previous video, make sure you are not holding. Okay, another thing we're about to see now, because the dollar's collapsing, guys, is hyperinflation. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with what happened in Venezuela. So let's take a look here. So the similar situation that happened in Venezuela is going to happen globally. And this is also is going to fuel crypto as well. So all of these negative news is good for Bitcoin, guys. It's good for crypto. So let's take a look here. 2018, this is how much money you would need in Venezuela to buy one roll of toilet paper. The amount was 2.6 million bolivars, equivalent to 40 US cents. It highlights the issue of hyperinflation when money literally becomes worthless. It does make you think, though, why buy the toilet paper when you can just use the money? 2018, this is how much money. So we are at the right side of this wealth transfer, guys. Financial collapse, financial financial system reset, transitioning, you can call it whatever you want. It's happening. And obviously, as I mentioned in the previous videos, the main topic of discussion that's going to be talked about is crypto, guys, and Bitcoin. And our community will be at the center of it all. So get ready for, I guess, the limelight for those of you guys that are not used to it. Yeah, and a lot of you guys were aware of what happened in Zimbabwe as well. Starving billionaires. This is the same thing that's about to happen in the US and then spread globally as well. So let's see, Zimbabwe has $1 trillion note. So this is where we're going to see the US also start printing a lot of money. And as the money becomes worthless, more worthless, everyone's gonna obviously fleeing to gold and silver. Zimbabwe, they had, oh, not even a trillion, $100 trillion note. The Zimbabwe $100 trillion note is the denomination of Zimbabwean currency. It is one of the world's largest denominations of currency. This was the first issued in Zimbabwe 16th of January 2009 during a period of hyperinflation when the prices of goods rose rapidly and the government printed money in increasingly larger denominations to match market prices. The banknote's design has been used in Zimbabwe for decades and was printed on the $2 note in 1983. So we're about to see a repeat. Not, I don't think it's going to get that bad as Zimbabwe, but it's going to get close to Venezuela. Let me see if I can find this video so I can show you guys. prices of goods. So whatever country you are in, guys, that's why I say try to collect as much money as you possibly can and this wealth transfer because you're going to need it because of hyperinflation, guys. And obviously, you should always hedge yourself, diversify yourself. Yeah, I can't seem to find the video, but I'm sure you guys get the idea, get the picture. So now that we are seeing the dollar collapsing in free fall, this is going to accelerate. And so that should tell you, obviously, Bitcoin is going up. It has to, because it has to follow real money. The same way silver is pumping, which is money, real money, and gold is pumping. This is real money. So the same reason Bitcoin should be pumping as well. The reason why it's not pumping, obviously, is due to manipulation. And now we are about to see they can't control it anymore. They can't manipulate it anymore. So they'll just decide to start pumping it. Then retail will flood in, guys. So this is a lot of bullish news for us that's here in crypto. So don't worry about what silver is doing. Don't worry about what gold is doing. There's a lot of hype around silver. All that attention is going to be brought to crypto, guys. So we just have to be patient and wait for a turn. But obviously, if a lot of people bought silver back, started buying back silver back in the 2020s, obviously they are in good positions as well. But you're gonna make more money buying crypto anyway instead of silver or gold. Dollars, US dollars in your bank account, make sure you're not holding money, digital money, fiat money in your bank account because once the dollar starts collapsing, it will loses start start to lose a lot of value. So if you were holding, let's say, $100,000 in your bank account, you're gonna wake up the next day and you see that at $1,000 or even below that. So this is what to get ready for, guys. Now we're about to see the mass adoption of crypto, and all countries are going to start um, legalizing Bitcoin to be used as a legal tender. And this is why I mentioned years ago, eventually you don't have to sell your crypto, you don't have to convert it, just hold it, and you will be buying, using anything you want using crypto. So once countries legalize it, then all businesses will start accepting cryptocurrencies as payment, and this is going to be the money, the way citizens make transactions with business. So we'll start to see also businesses stop accepting cash, stop accepting US dollars, stop accepting credit card, debit card. We'll be only accepting cryptocurrencies. And this is where you can use our cryptocurrency to make payments with anything, to buy anything you want, and using crypto. So this is what's about to start happening this year. It's going to be very interesting, guys. So if you are really passing through, I'll see you guys in the Telegram. To join the Telegram, the link is in the description below. You simply okay. We also need to watch this video as well. All this is to refresh your memories, guys, to understand what's happening. So no matter what's happening in the crypto space, you know, you're not fearful because at any moment they can also be a flash crash, uh, capitulation with Bitcoin, and that would cause mass fear, mass panic, and a lot of people would sell. But if you understand what's happening, then Bitcoin has only up to go. We don't need to worry about what it's doing short term. It's just manipulation. Then we should see Bitcoin break all-time high this week, guys. So I'm expecting Bitcoin first to get to about 140, 150 very shortly, and then have a slight retrace and continue toward 200K, 500K, the same way we are seeing silver just mooning. Bitcoin should have been doing the same thing. Obviously, it's because of manipulation. That's why we are not seeing Bitcoin pumping like this. And also gold as well. Gold is pumping as well. Yeah, wow. So, wow, look at this. Gold is mooning. So that should tell you guys Bitcoin is about to follow the same path as gold, as silver. So don't worry about anything that is happening. Just prepare yourself because this is one of the greatest wealth transfer in our lifetime we'll ever see. So we have to take hold of this opportunity. We have to grab as much of this wealth that is flowing in into the market. Obviously, a lot of wealth is flowing into gold and silver currently, but all that money is going to be flowing right back to Bitcoin, guys. So once all the attention is placed on Bitcoin, we're going to see the same move happening with Bitcoin on the monthly time frame as we are seeing silver and gold. These are only three real money, but obviously Bitcoin is more valuable currently than the three. So we should start to see Bitcoin just mooning as well on the monthly time frame. Same way we are seeing gold. So this is why I'm trying to tell you guys to prepare. And most of the money is going to be made obviously in meme, guys. And this is the reason why we're doing all of these live streams as well. We've already prepared ourselves and we're ready because a lot of people are not ready, guys. That's why they are going to be missing out on this opportunity of a lifetime because it takes time to prepare for this. By the time people realize what's happening, then they won't be able to catch up with what's happening because they're going to be seeking information. And by seeking information, that's going to take a lot of your time to try to understand what's happening. By the time you realize it, the bull market is over. And then you'll be buying it at the top of the market. Let's see the other video. So this is the week everything starts happening, guys. I'm sure you guys just don't have to take my words for it. I'm sure you're seeing whatever's happening with um, gold, silver, and other markets. Yeah. So a lot of you guys are about to become very, very rich, very wealthy. And this is why I've been trying to prepare your mind as well, because it's gonna take a while once you are touching and physically touching the wealth and money. It's gonna take a brief moment for your mind to process it all. So you won't understand how you're feeling. You won't know how to feel. Is the best way to do is just take a breather. Don't panic. Don't do anything you would normally do, and then wait for your mind to process it all. That's the other video. Yeah, this is the other one. Welcome, billionaires, and future trillionaires. As always, I aim to bring truth, knowledge, and wisdom to assist you in your crypto. Guys, it's finally happening. I know I've been happening now, guys, as China dumps US debt and they detour and leave doing transactions in US dollar, guys. And you can read this article on your own. I'll probably post the description below, guys. China remains indifferent to threats and continues to dump debt at the risk of provoking the ear of the White House for lies. Wait, so Bitcoin is tailored to become a replacement international currency. It's all happening quietly, guys. Bitcoin is the US dollar. My prediction: all the countries are going to transactions with Bitcoin. Easier, it's faster, stuff that they can be anonymous, uh, and they're not relying on tariffs and taxes. So it's very simple. It's more simple and more efficient, right? So uh, United Kingdom has surpassed China as the second largest global holder of its public debt. English ally now holds 770. Yeah, I need to find this video to show you guys. It's gonna put things into perspective for you. Let's see. Okay, let's. Ah, no, ya se solicita carnicero con experiencia. Está trabajando normal lo que es la carga de gasolina de PDD. Están bajando los precios como se dice en la noticia. La morcilla con los diversos, y esta mantequilla. Esta mantequilla ya se ha subido un poquito de precio, estaba en 1,10, está en 1,18. Esa es la mantequilla que es la más económica que siempre se lleva normalmente. Ya porque el amigo también hace su trabajo. This is how worthless the Venezuelan money has become, guys. Take a look at this. So just to remember, this is what's about to happen with the US dollar. Imagine a lot of you guys just holding US dollar in your bank accounts or whatever currency you're holding, and everyone else that's holding millions and billions of US dollars, digital currencies. This is what's about to happen with the US dollar. And I'm predicting all of this to happen this year, guys. Start accelerating because now we are now seeing the acceleration process happen. This is the reason why silver and gold is moving. This is dollars, guys. Worth. Wow, this is a dumpster too. So the only real money is Bitcoin, gold, and silver, guys. So you can kind of get an idea of where we headed. Um, and this is the reason why everyone's going to be FOMOing and flooding into crypto, guys. Any comments so far, guys? Any questions? So, like I said, guys, any moment now we should see Bitcoin at all-time high. And this is why we've been preparing for launch and getting everything ready. So Bitcoin is about to explode here as the dollar continues to collapse. This is something none of us have seen before, guys. None of us have seen an era where a nation collapses and the currency collapses. Unless you lived in Venezuela, but it's a different time. Venezuela just had hyperinflation. But this time it's going to be a global hyperinflation because the dollar is collapsing and it's bringing all the other currencies down with it. Yeah, and this is why I tell you guys to convert as much of your paper money, digital money, over to crypto because all of this is going to happen overnight, guys. Now it's just slowly creeping up, and you're going to start to see it accelerate. And then one day you're just going to wake up and it's all over the news. The dollar has dropped, and along with the currency. Yeah, gold is really good. Look at that. It was just what 4,600 this morning. No, was it? Yeah, it probably was 48. Yeah, if you look out on the Bitcoin monthly chart, this is what Bitcoin is about to do, guys. This is what that we've been prepared for. Silver, Bitcoin, these are real money. Look at that. It didn't even retrace, it just kept on going. This is wild. It's a good thing to experience, to witness all of this happening. The actual wealth transfer, because I know a lot of times where I made the predictions, a lot of you guys didn't see the physical results yet. You didn't see the wealth transfer actually happening. Now you are physically seeing it happen with your own eyes. And silver is a good indication where money is flowing, real money is flowing. People are trying to look for life rafts to save themselves, save their wealth, and some are dumping it into silver, some are dumping it into gold, and some are dumping it into Bitcoin. But obviously, Bitcoin will be the main topic of discussion, guys. So now we're just waiting patiently. Let's see if I can find an example to show you how it feels right now. I'm sure we have to look in nature for that as well. Nature, the patient wins. Let's find out. Let's find. There's so many things we can find in nature, guys. Okay, we can use a spider web. Spider prepares its web to catch food or feasting.
spiders could eat the entire human population. There are so many spiders on Earth that within
So we have two ways of comparing this to us is spider preparing its web. Yeah, it is a good.
some spiders provoke admiration for making much more sophisticated. Spider webs are as diverse in their design as they are effective. Each species has its own set of architectural blueprints. The silk that spiders use to make their webs is elastic, resilient, and can be replaced whenever required. The silk factory is in the spider's abdomen. The silk is a protein in liquid form that solidifies on contact with air. The silk works perfectly as a trap. It also serves to wrap up and preserve the spider's prey. Often, the well-earned meal is not eaten immediately. Spiders use their webs in very different ways. Tropical jungles of the northeast coast, the gladiator spider prepares his secret weapon. Like other spiders, it has an inexhaustible source of silk that it can secrete from its abdomen. But this spider has a particular plan. The gladiator spider does not look for a place to install its trap among the foliage. Instead, this species prefers more active hunting. Once its small web is complete, the spider suspends it between its legs, then spreads it out and waits. Like ancient Roman gladiators who cast their nets in the amphitheater, the spider that shares their name captures its food in a similar way, and at astounding speed.
There's one good analogy I can give you guys that compared to what we are doing is we set a lot of webs with all of our projects, and now all we are doing is waiting patiently for the wealth to start flowing in. And as it starts flowing in, the web's gonna be catching a lot of this wealth. So all the work has been done, similar to our spider prepare its web in anticipation for food, then we are anticipating a lot of money to be flowing in through these webs. it's inevitable. It's only a matter of time. Similar to how when a spider sets its web, it's only a matter of time until food is caught in the web. Same thing for us. That's happening. Another analogy I can give you is net fishing. Imagine someone fish, going fishing with just one rod versus someone going fishing with a huge net, guys. So the what we've done can be compared to us going fishing with a huge net. So let's see. This is a small example.
Uh-huh. 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 Uh-huh.
I don't think that's it. Let's find a better example. This could be an example as well. Probably gonna find better. Let's try this. So most people that's in the crypto space, they're going fishing with just one. Yeah, this is a good example. Yeah, this could be a good example. Yeah.
She'll be catching first thing.
Yeah, this is a good example.
Anchovies are small. They range from 2 to 40 centimeters in adult length. Their body shapes are variable with more slender fish in northern populations. Anchovies are found in scattered areas throughout the world's oceans, but are concentrated in temperate waters, and are rare or absent in very cold or very warm seas. They are generally very accepting of a wide range of temperatures and salinity. Large schools can be found in shallow, brackish areas with muddy bottoms, as in estuaries and bays. The anchovy is a significant food source for almost every predatory fish in its environment, including the halibut, yellowtail, shark, and salmon. It is also extremely important to marine mammals and birds.
Realize the net is still going, guys. Look how huge the net is. This is the same thing I can compare with all of our projects. This is the same thing. You can catch one fish with one project, or you can catch a lot of fish with a lot of different projects, which is us catching a lot of this wealth transfer using a lot of our project.
Anchovies, like most papillones, herrings, sardines, and anchovies, are filter feeders that open their mouths as they swim. As water passes through the mouth and out the gills, food particles are sipped by gill rockers and transferred into the esophagus. Anchovy are a resilient species and as such can sustain relatively high levels of fishing pressure. Anchovies have a short life cycle. They are able to spawn after 2 years and rarely live longer than 4 years. Anchovies spawn throughout the year, with peak activity from February to April. Females release batches of eggs every 7 to 10 days. The eggs hatch in 2 to 4 days, depending on the temperature of the water. Anchovies form large, dense schools near the ocean surface. Anchovy schools move short distances along the shore and offshore.
I think they only catch all the fishes.
The Peruvian anchovy fishery is one of the largest in the world, far exceeding catches of the other anchovy species. Anchovies are generally harvested with purse seine. A purse seine is a large wall of netting deployed around an entire school of fish. It consists of floats adhered to the float line of the seine with a lead line threaded through rings at the bottom. When a spool is located, a skiff will encircle the spool with one end of the seine attached to it while the other end is attached to the fishing vessel itself, and circle back to the fishing vessel. Once the skiff reaches the vessel, the lead line at the bottom of the seine is pulled in, pursing the net closed on the bottom, thus preventing the fish from escaping when swimming downward. Obviously on flat calm sea, famous as the salty little fish you find. The white color. In Roman times, anchovies were the base for the fermented fish sauce garum. Garum had a sufficiently long shelf life for long-distance commerce, and was produced in industrial quantities. In Southeast Asian countries like Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, and the Philippines, they are deep.
This is the only image I can give you guys compared to what we're about to do here. This is the only comparison. We have a huge net relaying out over the meme coin space, and these fishes are representing the amount of money we're about to accumulate, guys.
Fried and eaten as a snack or a side dish. The strong taste people associate with anchovies is due to the curing process. Fresh anchovies, known in Italy as alici, have a much milder flavor.
Yeah, we need to check one video out as well, guys. That's on my personal channel of what we should be expecting in the next few weeks and this month as well. Hello, guys. Okay, this video was made. What's this? 5 years ago. Let's watch this. This is a lot of information in this video, guys. Obviously, it is more deep knowledge that a lot of you guys will probably not understand, but you can catch on. We'll probably play half of it. Welcome back to my channel. Again, my name is Manuel. Truth, knowledge, wisdom. I like to speak to you guys regarding events, predictions that is to happen, what you can do to prepare yourself. That way, thing is to it's best for you. Every next to you. Question is going to be a question. pay attention to what is going to here. And this will happen because of the debt dollar. The US dollar is pretty much its value, say about 7% value, or close. And because of that, there will be a high inflation. So price of goods is a lot higher. The bag of buy a bag, purchase a bag of rice today, say a 20 rice or $50. Rice $50 because we always think that is money because so little goods to go around. There's too much stuff happening. It's going to be a very the and is the here that is check this out. Now, if we look around, guys, just by typing 10 cities, we can see. Now, if we look around, guys, just by typing 10 cities, we can see Pretty sure you guys are aware of what's happening. I don't need to show you videos. Think hey,
U.S. city, third city on the list. Seattle's only representing 5% of city, city higher street. Incredibly, Seattle spends 150 million. Many still live in riches. Two, with more than 80 cities, Los Angeles has the largest population. The area is home to city allocated $1 million a year to address the crisis. Some encampments have amenities for redeeming New York City grid 3 U.S. cities. Just
so you kind of get the picture, guys, of what's happening here.
as well as well. Start to the but patient is kind of active. It's no, and we does go up. Yeah, housing single
All right, let's take a look at what's happening in the real estate market, guys. Let's start with Florida. I think, or just the U.S. real estate.
seeing something we haven't seen in 2 decades in the U.S., and that's declining home prices. House behind me taking a $15,000 loan. They bought it for $475. Now it's on the market for 6. You see here in Nashville, the home sale activity is now at a 10-year low. The inventory on the market for sale is at a 10-year high. That combination with declining prices minus 9.2% percent. However, it totally depends on your city and your market in terms of where prices are going next year. Head to www.reventure.app and sign up for premium to see our condos are down 40 to 50% value. Where they originally listed at 670,000, and they've cut it to less than 400,000. The reason why is construction, all the supply. They built tons of units during the pandemic, during the big influx into Austin, which is kind of wild, everyone. Because now some of these units are back below pre-pandemic pricing. That unit in that building was listed at $450 in 2019. Now it's listed at $399. So the demand is down, the supply is up, making it actually a great opportunity to buy into Austin's housing market in 2026. Data on Reventure app shows that Austin is now only 3% overvalued, going to be undervalued soon. And some markets are actually already 20 to 40% undervalued on a zip code basis. It's still one of the highest population growth markets in the US over the last 5 years. That's a rare combination, and very soon Reventure is going to be giving a buy signal in Austin to check.
Buying a house, worst investment you'll ever make in your time.
You might want to watch California's housing market over the next 12 months because it's flashing some massive warning signs. Inventory levels are surging. With listings in cities like Los Angeles nearing a 10-year high, this spike in inventory is starting to push home prices down across the state. And the core issue is affordability. Most buyers simply can't afford to buy in California. The typical home value is over $700,000. At a 7% mortgage rate, that means a monthly payment around $5,000 with taxes and insurance. That makes California the most expensive state for mortgage payments in the country, and Massachusetts is the next one in line at $4,400 a month. But California is sitting at $5,100 a month on average. The big question now is, will California home prices drop significantly over the next year, or will high costs continue to keep buyers locked out of this market? Time will tell, but the warning signs are definitely there. You might want to watch.
Okay, so housing market is already collapsing, guys, based on our predictions. So right now we're about to come into a lot of money, so now it's going to be a perfect opportunity for us as well to invest into real estate. The housing market will also collapse, and homes will drop to at least 50%. So if the homes usually cost, let's say, $500,000, now that home will be worth about $250,000, probably even less. And why is this happening? Well, life is a game. Like I have made a video about that. It's called Meaning of Life. Life is a video game. It is being reset. This is what happens when you reset something. Games are new. Things are changing. Things may seem chaotic right now, but that is supposed to happen to bring something new. So we are leaving this silver age and golden prosperity, spirituality. The wait, what's going to happen? Start this who dies mostly will non NPCs, non-player characters, intelligence, similar with reality, desire will manifest almost instantly because they will be no longer in the world. They will. Okay, guys, I know I made a prediction that we're going to see a civil war, most likely, and the the red lights are flashing, and I believe what's going to start the civil war is the ICE situation, whatever's happening with ICE and deportation, and I'm already seeing this is where it all began. So we're going to see the police clash with citizens, and then this is what's going to spark the civil war. and then just people just gonna start fighting each other. But they fail to see the they actually treating the symptoms. They fail to see the cause of the problem, which is I really get into politics, and I usually the only two topics I don't discuss is religion or politics. But obviously, sometimes we have to connect the dots, and sometimes we have to bring religion in a little bit, and we have to bring politics in a little bit just to connect the dots to understand what's happening. So a lot of people, most people are unaware of what's causing all of this. It's just the people who are at power, the politicians, they are obviously causing this to happen. But if we look at things closely, then we can see people whenever people come into confrontation with each other, they instantly blame the policeman. They instantly blame the people that's performing the duties. These people are not in control, guys. They're just workers that works for someone else, that taking orders from someone else. So it's not their fault that they are doing what they are doing. It's just obviously yes, in reality they chose that job, and with that job comes responsibilities, and these are the responsibility they need to carry out, which is go grab a lot of immigrants and deport them. And they are because it's their job, that's all they focus on, and it changes their habits. So policemen, um, civil workers, you rarely see a happy um, police officer or happy uh, persons in authority. So because of this, they are reflecting how they feel toward other people. So if they're an unhappy policeman, obviously most of them are, and then they're going to obviously reflect that in reality. So this is where they don't understand what's happening. The other side, the civilians, don't understand what's happening. But if we take a look back and see the bigger picture, we'll understand none of these people are in control. It's the top, the people that's at the top, the politician that's giving them orders. Those are the people, whoever's being angry at ICE, whoever's being angry at whatever is happening, they need to be angry at the top tier people, the people that's really in power, not at the policemen. The policemen are just doing their job. And this is what's going to cause the Civil War because none of these people have a clue on what's happening and uh, know, how to resolve the situation. So obviously, this has a lot to do with the reset as well. And I've also mentioned that there's a purge that is happening because the earth is alive, the earth is conscious, so it's shifting frequencies, and anyone or any organism that includes humans, mammals, any living organism that is not of a higher frequency will perish along with the old system, with the old reality. So that's why I always say to keep your vibration high, raise your frequency, so you uh, transition with whatever's happening. You transition with the new um, reality. You transition with the new Earth because the Earth is shifting frequencies from negative frequencies, positive frequencies. So anyone who's positive, anyone who's upbeat, uplifting, like I said, you don't have to do anything. Whatever's happening in this physical world will not affect you because you're protected because of your frequency. You are constantly shifting your frequencies to match the frequency of that reality. So if you want to survive whatever is happening, guys, there's only one thing you need to do is raise your frequency. That's it. Raise your frequency to a higher vibration, and once you do that, obviously, it takes habits, it takes practice, it takes repetition to do that. But the most important thing about being a high frequency being is try to be as positive as try to always be positive and always try to be a nice person. Always try to be a good person. Every time you do good deeds to people, then you raise your vibration. Every time you there's only there's a few things that raise your frequency. So just to keep things the most simplest thing as possible for you to survive what's happening, all you need to do is raise your frequency. And how you do that is the most important thing is change what you eat more healthier food that physically raise your body's vibration. And then second is be a nice person. Always try to do good deeds when the opportunity presents itself. And also try to stay as positive as you possibly can at all time. Obviously, that's going to be difficult, especially at the beginning, but the more you practice it, the more you will see yourself become positive, start thinking more positive, start doing more positive things, and you will see your habits shift from negative to positive. So this is what I'm seeing that is about to happen, guys. We're about to see the Civil War actually happens, and we are now seeing the sparks happening, and it's happening with ICE and the whole immigration uh, deportation. Civil war, so you have to prepare yourself for this. And the reason there will be a civil war is because the people will masses will wake up, will realize they've been lied to. They will authoritarians as the governments will act for wrong. Sources will events will take money. It's time to get they know this going to be served because this All right, guys. So everything is accelerating. And the thing is, guys, we haven't really seen anything yet. Things are just beginning to unfold. There is so much that is about to happen, guys, that is going to blow people's mind. Some people will literally lose their minds because their mind have been conditioned in a certain way, and a lot of people obviously have been brainwashed as well to believe a certain way, to believe this is how society is, this is how we should live. Uh, so their mind won't be able to cope with whatever is happening. There's gonna be cognitive dissonance where to believe what reality is true, what reality should the mind believe. This is why a lot of people's mind will literally crumble. You will see people literally losing their minds, guys. And this all of this is happening this year, guys. And obviously for us that's in the crypto space, guys, you won't be affected by any of this that is happening because your solution is the money. The money is the tool. If you don't like, oh my goodness, look at silver. Oh, it's the same thing. Look at gold. Yeah, so lost train of thoughts there. So, we all are on the right side of history, on the right side of the wealth transfer, guys. Uh, so it's a good time to be alive, to seeing this all happen, to experience it. So that's why you should take any of this for granted, guys. And a lot of you guys that's new here are just now uh, coming into the community. You should check some of the old videos out to get familiar with where we are in the timeline, what has happened, what's going to happen, so you are prepared, guys. Because we will see this, guys, that a lot of people miss this opportunity. But the unfortunate part is they will only realize it after it has happened. So because they wasn't prepared for it. Similar, the only real analogy I can give you is okay, you just waking up early in the morning and you're about to go, let's say, on an hour walk. So you don't even pay attention to the weather. So you just get out, grab your keys, grab your phone, and just go. You're not prepared for any weather conditions, so you didn't grab any umbrella, you didn't grab anything. And all of a sudden, while you're walking, it start raining heavy, or worse, it start hailing, and you start running for cover, and because you don't want to get wet or you don't want to get a hailstorm, so you're trying to seek shelter, and obviously by the time if you seek shelter, you're gonna be soaking wet. So in for another person that was prepared, they pay attention to the weather, they saw maybe it was going to rain, so they brought an umbrella with them. And obviously, once it started raining, the person was prepared and they won't get wet. So it's the same thing with us guys. We are prepared. So the rain is about to start falling heavy, heavy, heavy. So we're ready, guys. So now we're just waiting. We've been patiently waiting like the spider who has set its web, guys. And we are about to eat, guys. So that's the only analogy I can give you because everything is taking off. Real money, real value, real asset is moving up, pumping, and Bitcoin is not that far behind, guys. So the reason why it's dormant while it's slowly moving, it's not. It's because of manipulation. So this is what I'm expecting for Bitcoin, guys. This week is for Bitcoin to break all-time high this week. So that weekly candle should break all-time high. Any questions so far, guys? Any comments? Because everything's ready for lunch, guys. We are very, very close. Most likely, we were expecting to launch during this live VC. Obviously, uh, we are seeing all the markets pumping, so Bitcoin is not that far behind, guys. Look at gold goes, guys. I know a lot of it. I can imagine a lot of attention is focused on gold and silver right now. Barely anyone is paying attention to Bitcoin, and that's when it's about to explode. And most importantly, rarely anyone is paying attention to the most valuable thing, guys. The thing that's gonna make you the most money, which is meme coin, guys. So obviously, we will be at the center of all of this hype. So you're just patiently waiting for our turn, guys. Yeah, we've held support on the weekly time frame with Bitcoin, guys, which is bullish. But even though we held support, there is that, I would say, about 10% chance. Like I said, it can happen because of how volatile Bitcoin is and how heavy manipulated Bitcoin. I've never seen any market as or any asset as manipulated as Bitcoin. Okay? So do take into account there is 10% chance we can flash crash very quickly, which would cause Bitcoin to capitulate down to the 60s. That is still possible, guys. Until we get above the support on the weekly time frame, which sits about 100K. Until we get up there, that possible flash crash can still happen to bring us below 60s, below 70s. But as soon as Bitcoin gets to 100K, guys, then the confirmation that we're heading to 150K, 200K, $1 billion for Bitcoin is, so we will see that within hours from now, if not this week, guys. So it's good news for everyone that's in the crypto space, guys. Let people buy silver, let people buy gold at the top of the market. I'm expecting the correction for silver to happen any moment now. One at the daily, yeah, this is a massive correction is coming. Everyone's piling it. And it's the worst time. It's not, it's just retail. Retail don't understand. You don't make money. I guess it all depends on your goal. Most people are happy with just making $100. Some people are happy with making $1,000. Some people are happy with making $100,000. But it's all in your mindset. Whatever you think you can achieve, you can achieve it. You can manifest $1 million just as easily as you can manifest $1. It's the same amount of energy you use to manifest. So you might as well start thinking big. Might as well think big because you will eventually manifest the same thing. The only difference is the bigger goal might have a little bit longer delay, but if you're patient enough, you're persistent enough, and you have strong faith, by law of attraction, it has to happen. So, a lot of you guys are about to come into a lot of money, a lot of wealth. So your life is about to change, guys, starting this week. So congratulations to you guys who stick around. So, like I said, we are ready, guys. Americans are doomed. It's funny though, because it's true. Well, if you're not in crypto, you pretty much do, yeah, because you're on the wrong side. Yeah, we're gonna see things. Like I said, guys, things you've only seen 1% of what's about to happen. You haven't seen anything yet. So just to prepare yourself mentally, because obviously all of you guys that's here, that's in the community, you're gonna be okay because obviously we are on the wealth side, we're creating projects, we have control, and we have the plan to grab a lot of the liquidity that's about to flow into the market, grab a lot of the wealth that's about to flow into the market. So if you're in this community, obviously your financial future is very, very bright. So try not to put too much attention on this, but this is interesting.
Afford to maintain portable toilets 3 days a week.
Yeah, so we'll close the live here, guys. So hopefully you guys had received a lot of information today that's going to help you in your future investments. So I can only say, guys, this is the final moment, guys. Leave silver alone, leave gold alone. If I can say this enough. Obviously, leave Bitcoin alone as well, leave ETH alone. Obviously, you can put, well, if you coming in into crypto, instead of buying Bitcoin, if you want to just secure a lot of your wealth, just buy Solana or Ethereum. Obviously, you can get a little bit more gains, but the most gains you're gonna make are in meme coin, guys. So we're about to see this happen. Floodgates open this week, and everyone, the entire globe is about to flood into crypto, guys. So this is what we're about to see, and this is what we're prepared for. And the floodgate is opening, and we're gonna see people start flooding in on the YouTubes, searching for terms like what is crypto, how to buy Bitcoin. A lot of newbies are coming in, so prepare yourself for that. And most importantly, guys, launch is about to happen. So a lot of you guys have been wondering when is launch, asking when is launch. So we've just been patiently waiting on the market, guys, because that is the only driver of uh, the market. That is Bitcoin, and obviously now we're about to see all the coins become decoupled from Bitcoin and start moving on it. Yeah, Bitcoin's about to move up, guys. This be because Bitcoin will have to follow silver. Bitcoin will have to follow gold, guys. It's just what money. It's just money's chasing value. That's all it is. So the only real value right now is gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin will make you, well, not just Bitcoin, crypto. So I'm expecting the massive pump to begin anyways. So we are ready. Hopefully you guys are ready. So I'm gonna try to get all of you guys assigned by the end of today. Let's see what time is it. Wow, it's already 6 o'clock. Goodness. Okay, so I've already been working on assigning a lot of you guys. So I'll finish that list today and then I'll post it. Once I post it, you will know which project you are assigned to, the new members. But it's kind of tricky because of the plan I had. Uh, because there are a few plans I can't reveal yet. So that's probably the main reason why I've been reluctant to assign you guys. But once the assignment begin, it won't take long to assign you guys. So I'm not sure if I should just yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the original plan. Yeah, it's sort of okay. What I'll do is Yeah, I'll have to figure out today how to do this because once I assign you guys, then it will reveal one of the plans I had, which I was trying to wait until launch to reveal, but I'll have to see how I have to do this because it is tricky. I just say it to hell with it, do it. But obviously, everything has to be strategic, guys, because we don't want any room for failure, guys. So we want to go full send everything and um, catapult ourselves to the front of the algorithm on YouTube everywhere. Just start taking over the crypto space. And like I said, we won't be ignored, and that's going to bring a lot of attention to all of the projects. But you just have to trust me on this. I can't reveal a lot of the things yet for good reason. And once I reveal it, you'll understand why. But for now, just be prepared. That's all I can say, guys. Any questions so far, guys? We're about to close off. So by tonight, I'm expecting Bitcoin to start moving up, guys, to the 90s. The pump's going to happen fast. I want you to take a look at gold. Perfect example of what's happening with gold, but obviously Bitcoin is more volatile. Bitcoin will move a lot faster once it start moving. Take a look at what's happening with gold. Same thing about to happen with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's going to be moving faster, guys. So that's why we have to be ready because things are about to move very, very fast. Yeah, look at silver. Same thing about to happen with Bitcoin. Wow, silver was just $70. This is wild. That just tells you the FOMO we're about to see with Bitcoin, with crypto. We're about to see this stage here. Let's look at the crypto cycle here. We're about to enter euphoria phase here. Emotional cycle. So this is the Bitcoin charts, emotion chart, an emotional roller coaster. So we are about, let's copy this here. Okay, this is, okay, we are right here, guys. We are right about here. If you guys can see this, change the color. Yeah, we're right here, guys. For all of you guys that can see this, we are right here, right below optimism. So we are expecting this massive rally to begin. And the first pump, we're going to get to about belief. That's when Bitcoin get to about 100K, which is going to happen very shortly here. And then once Bitcoin get to 100K, and then we're going to get the thrill. Everyone start selling everything they can to try to get into Bitcoin, selling their houses, taking out mortgage, taking out loans, anything they can to buy crypto, guys. Not just Bitcoin, but crypto. So this is where we're going to see the euphoria phase in crypto. Right now, silver is right here. Silver is right here. And this is where a lot of people are just FOMOing in at the top. That's just retail behavior. Right now, I'm sure you can see we are right here at the very top. Obviously, silver will go a lot higher, but it's time for it to have a nice correction. And then while it's correcting, and we will see Bitcoin start pumping, guys. Obviously, both can move up together, but based on history, once silver start correcting, then that's when we'll see Bitcoin. But right now, silver's at the top. So we are at the very top here with silver. The euphoria phase. When everyone's talking about something, you should understand you are here, guys. At the euphoria. Everyone's saying, well, gonna be rich. That's your signal to get out. So this is where silver is at right now. That's why I say leave silver alone. You have to make the wealth first before you can preserve it. If you don't have the wealth, how can you preserve something you don't have, right? So when I'm talking about real wealth, like minimum of 10 million, that's real wealth. So if you don't have 10 million, then there's no reason why you should be buying silver or gold. You need to find ways to make the wealth first, which is in meme coins. And then once you have the wealth, then you preserve it. Then you start loading up on gold, silver properties. Now we're about to see silver correct into we're gonna get complacent. We'll probably say it's just a cool off. It'll probably go back up and then it's gonna keep dropping. People will get anxiety, denial, panic, and then people will just start getting upset they didn't take profit. The cycle always repeat itself, guys, because it's human. Humans make decisions based on emotions. That's why this is called the emotional chart. And just so you are aware of what's about to happen with Bitcoin as well, so we don't get caught in the euphoria. So Bitcoin right now, we're right under optimism. The first nice pump to 100K will get us to belief, as I mentioned. Then we'll have the thrill and then euphoria. This will be our exit point here in all of crypto, guys. But obviously, we have noon to keep us updated with the days to understand what's happening. So this is what to look up, what to look for, guys. Yeah, I think we'll end the VC here. Any question, guys? Any comments? Go ahead. You're breaking up. Try. I can hear you, but I can barely make out what you're saying. Go ahead. try to exit the VC and come back in. Usually it fixes that. Yeah, a lot better.
I bet I was late.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's all good. Like I said, uh, you can watch the replay on the YouTube live stream just to catch up on everything that was said. But everyone's about to get assigned. And for anyone that hasn't, add the username. Please do add your username. It's gonna make us things a lot easier on us, on everyone else, moving forward. Yeah, guys, a lot of you guys are millionaires, billionaires, and even trillionaires. So your proof is right here. And here's silver and gold. Bitcoin's about to do the same thing, guys. And that will take every coin up with them, with the market. Any other question, guys? You guys should be excited. I'm excited, but I'm more. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm excited too, but I'm just at that point where let it all happen already. I've just been waiting for so long. I know a lot of you guys can feel the same way. Let's go already. Yeah, guys, so none of you guys should have any doubts on whatever's about to happen. So once you see Bitcoin just breaks to 100K, you'll understand that this is because of the wealth transfer that's happening. And you can easily see it in silver, gold, but that's just behind the scene. Let me see if I can find this video while I leave. Share it with you guys. All the banks are in, how can I say this? All the banks are are in together on whatever is happening, guys. They are having indoor conversation. They are scared because because of crypto, they won't exist unless they adopt. That's why they are flooding into stable coins. Let's see if I can find this video. Banks are fearing crypto right now, guys, because they understand they won't be needed. Global market tumble over banking fear. Credits. I think that's it. Yeah, and I did mention to you guys that 90% of all the banks are about to collapse. We're gonna
I
start
want to
to
bring
see
in CNN
this.
business reporter Rahel Solomon. Rahel, walk us through how all of this unfolded today.
Okay, essentially what we're witnessing here is the mood worsen, right? Investors really search for the next sign of weakness,
Yeah,
the next
this is old.
Transformation. BlackRock's success with the Bitcoin ETF proved that institutional demand for crypto exposure is real, massive, and growing. The proof of concept opened the regulatory and institutional doors for everything that follows. Stablecoins, tokenized assets, blockchain infrastructure, yield-bearing digital dollars. Once that infrastructure is built and operational within the next 36 trillion. That's not a projection.
Yeah, there's the video, guys. This you should watch this. I probably won't play the whole video, but just share some brief clips on what the banks are feeling right now and what's happening with the banks. So obviously they are in all of this manipulation with the market because they don't want crypto to succeed, because if it does succeed, then they won't exist, but they can't stop the technology. So the only way for them is to join it, which is why they are FOMOing into Bitcoin, they are FOMOing into crypto. Something they used to call a scam, now they are just FOMOing. Not only with FOMOing, because they are fearful of it.
On January 15th,
Let's play this video. This is a great video, guys.
2026, Brian Moynihan, the CEO of Bank of America, said something in a private banking conference that should have made every headline in America. He told a room full of institutional investors that $6 trillion could leave the United States banking system within the next 36 months. $6 trillion. That's not a projection. That's not a worst case scenario. That's his baseline estimate. $6 trillion represents roughly 30% of all commercial bank deposits in America. Gone. Not to other banks. Not to foreign institutions. To something that didn't exist as a serious threat 5 years ago. Stablecoins. And the reason Moynihan is panicking, the reason every major bank CEO is quietly restructuring their deposit strategies, because of what happened exactly 2 years earlier, January 10th, 2024. The Securities and Exchange Commission approved 11 spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds. And the largest of those funds, BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, just crossed $70 billion in assets. $70 billion in 2 years? That's the fastest growth to that scale in ETF history. Faster than the SPDR Gold Trust, faster than any equity fund, faster than anything Wall Street has ever seen. But the 70 billion isn't the story. The 70 billion is the proof of concept. Because what BlackRock demonstrated is that institutional money, pension funds and endowments and wealth managers who control tens of trillions in assets, they want crypto exposure. And once they have that exposure, once they see how the infrastructure works, once they understand that digital assets can deliver yield and liquidity and efficiency that traditional banking can't match, the next question becomes obvious. Why keep $6 trillion sitting in bank accounts earning 0.1% interest when you can hold stablecoins backed by treasury bonds earning 4 to 5%? The answer is you don't. That's the $6 trillion exodus that's about to reshape American finance. This isn't theory. This isn't speculation. This is mathematical inevitability. And it's happening right now while most people aren't paying attention. Let me take you back to January 10th, 2024, the day everything changed for institutional crypto adoption. The Securities and Exchange Commission had been fighting Bitcoin ETF applications for over a decade. Multiple rejections, endless delays. The Winklevoss twins tried in 2013, rejected. Cameron and Tyler tried again in 2017, rejected. Van Eck tried in 2018, rejected. The official reason was always investor protection. The real reason was regulatory resistance to legitimizing an asset class that threatened traditional finance. But in June 2023, BlackRock filed an application. And BlackRock doesn't file applications it expects to lose. BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world, $10 trillion under management. More assets than the gross domestic product of every country except the United States and China. BlackRock files, regulators listen. When BlackRock wants something, BlackRock usually gets it. The application was different from previous attempts. It had robust custody solutions through Coinbase. It had surveillance sharing agreements with regulators. It had institutional-grade risk management protocols. And most importantly, it had BlackRock's reputation behind it, and Larry Fink's reputation, the man who built the most powerful asset management company in history. On January 10th, 2024, the SEC approved 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs simultaneously. Fidelity, Invesco, Franklin Templeton, VanEck, IARC Invest all got approval. But everyone knew the one that mattered was BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, ticker symbol IBIT. The first day of trading, IBIT processed $627 million in volume. One day. That's more than most ETFs see in an entire month. By the end of the first week, it had crossed $1 billion in assets. By the end of the first month, $10 billion. By the end of the first year, $55 billion. The growth curve was exponential. As of January 22, 2026, IBIT holds $70 billion in Bitcoin. That makes it the 19th largest ETF in the United States by assets, ahead of funds that have existed for 20 years, ahead of sector funds, international funds, bond funds. The 2-year-old Bitcoin fund is in the top 20 out of thousands of ETFs, but the assets under management don't tell the full story. Look at who's buying. Look at the actual investor base. According to public filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, over 700 institutional investors now hold IBIT. State pension funds, university endowments, insurance companies, wealth management firms, corporate treasury departments. These aren't retail speculators buying through Robinhood. These are fiduciaries managing other people's retirement money, and they're allocated to Bitcoin through BlackRock's fund. Wisconsin's state pension fund holds $29 million in IBIT. Michigan's state pension, $95 million. The Arizona Public Safety Personnel Retirement System, $19 million. The state of Utah retirement systems hold positions. These are conservative institutions with strict fiduciary mandates, and they're putting police officer pensions and teacher retirement funds into Bitcoin. Why? Because the asset allocation models changed fundamentally after 15 years of zero interest rate policy. For decades, the standard portfolio was 60% stocks, 40% bonds. That worked when bonds paid 6 to 8% annually. Bonds provided income and stability. They balanced equity volatility. The 60-40 portfolio was the foundation of modern portfolio theory. But after 15 years of near zero interest rates following the 2008 financial crisis, bonds barely outpaced inflation. A 10-year Treasury bond yielding 2% when inflation is running, at 3% means you're losing purchasing power. The 60-40 portfolio became obsolete. It didn't work anymore. So institutional investors started looking for alternatives. Real estate, but real estate is illiquid and requires active management. Private equity, but private equity has high fees and long lockup periods. Commodities, but commodities don't generate cash flow, and increasingly they looked at Bitcoin, not as a speculative trade, as a portfolio diversifier with low correlation to traditional assets. The data supported this. From 2013 to 2023, Bitcoin's correlation to the S&P 500 was near zero, sometimes positive, sometimes negative, but always low. That means when stocks went up or down, Bitcoin often moved independently. That's exactly what you want from a portfolio diversifier. But institutional investors couldn't buy Bitcoin directly. Regulatory constraints prevented most pension funds and endowments from holding crypto on their balance sheets. Custody concerns made boards of directors nervous. Operational complexity meant hiring specialized staff. The barriers were too high. They needed a regulated vehicle, an ETF, something they could buy through their existing brokerage accounts with familiar custody and settlement. And once BlackRock provided that vehicle, once they removed the friction, the floodgates opened. In the first week of January 2026, IBIT saw $888.6 million in net inflows. 1 week. $888 million. That's larger than most hedge fund launches. That's institutional money coming in after New Year portfolio rebalancing, fund managers adjusting allocations for 2026, and they allocated heavily to Bitcoin exposure through BlackRock. At the same time, traditional banking deposits were declining. According to Federal Reserve data, commercial bank deposits fell by $212 billion in the fourth quarter of 2025. $212 billion. Where did that money go? Some went to money market funds chasing higher yields. Some went to treasury bills directly. And an increasing amount went to crypto, not just Bitcoin, but stablecoins. And that's where the real threat to banking begins. Most people don't understand how banking works at a fundamental level. They think banks are safe deposit boxes. Put money in, the bank holds it. You withdraw when needed. That's not remotely how it works. Banks operate on fractional reserve lending. When you deposit $1,000, the bank is legally required to keep only a fraction in reserve. Under current Federal Reserve regulations, banks must maintain reserve ratios based on their deposit size. But practically speaking, most major banks keep around 10%. So when you deposit $1,000, the bank keeps $100 in reserve. The other $900 gets lent out immediately to someone buying a house, to a business expanding operations, to someone financing a car, to a corporation building a factory. The bank earns interest on those loans, typically 4 to 8% on mortgages, 6 to 12% on business loans, 10 to 20% on credit cards. That's how they make money. The spread between what they pay depositors and what they charge borrowers. The system works because not everyone withdraws their deposits simultaneously. On any given day, maybe 2 to 5% of depositors want cash. The bank keeps enough reserves to cover normal withdrawal patterns. The other 95 to 98% stays deployed in loans generating interest income. But what happens if that assumption breaks? What happens if 10 or 20% of depositors want their money at once? We saw this in March 2023 with Silicon Valley Bank. SVB held approximately $200 billion in deposits, most of it from technology companies, startups, venture capital firms. Those deposits were invested in long-term treasury bonds and mortgage-backed securities purchased when interest rates were near zero. Then, the Federal Reserve raised interest rates aggressively, from 0 to 5% in 18 months. Bond values crashed. A bond paying 2% when market rates are 5% is worth much less than face value. SVB was sitting on massive unrealized losses. Over $15 billion in paper losses on bonds they thought were safe. When depositors got nervous and started withdrawing money, SVB had to sell bonds to raise cash. They had to sell at huge losses, realizing paper losses into actual losses. The losses destroyed the bank's capital base. Within 48 hours, Silicon Valley Bank went from solvent and operating to bankrupt and seized by regulators. $142 billion in withdrawal requests in a single day. The bank couldn't meet them. It failed. The 16th largest bank in America collapsed in 2 days. That was one bank. Now imagine that dynamic playing out across the entire banking system. Not because of a crisis, not because of panic, but because of yield competition. Because customers realized they could earn dramatically higher returns elsewhere. Depositors don't all move at once. But over months, the flow is steady and relentless. 3% of deposits in month 1, 5% in month 2, 7% in month 3, 10% in month 6. The numbers compound. The exodus accelerates. Banks start losing the cheapest source of funding they have, customer deposits. They have to replace that funding with more expensive wholesale borrowing from other banks or the Federal Reserve. Their net interest margins compress. The spread between what they earn on loans and what they pay for funding shrinks. Profitability falls. Stock prices decline. Credit ratings get downgraded. Borrowing costs increase further. The doom loop. And here's the killer detail that most people miss. The loans banks made don't disappear when deposits leave. If a bank lent $900 billion secured by customer deposits, and those deposits leave, the bank still has $900 billion in loans in the books. Those loans mature over years or decades. 30-year mortgage doesn't mature for 3 decades, but the deposits funding that mortgage can leave in minutes, a few clicks on a phone. The only way to replace deposits quickly is to borrow from other banks through the federal funds market or from the Federal Reserve discount window. But that borrowing is expensive, much more expensive than deposits. And if multiple banks are competing for the same wholesale funding simultaneously because they're all losing deposits to stablecoins, rates spike dramatically. This is a liquidity crisis, not a solvency crisis. The banks aren't insolvent. They have assets, good assets, performing loans, treasury bonds, investment-grade corporate bonds. But those assets are illiquid. They can't be sold quickly without taking massive losses. If the bank can't fund itself in the short term, it doesn't matter that the long-term assets are valuable. The bank fails before the assets mature. We've seen this movie before. 2008, Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns, Washington Mutual, Wachovia. Banks with hundreds of billions in assets that collapsed in days or weeks because they couldn't fund themselves when confidence evaporated and wholesale funding markets froze. The difference between 2008 and what's coming is the trigger. In 2008, the crisis was triggered by bad assets. Subprime mortgages defaulting, mortgage-backed securities becoming worthless, asset quality deterioration. This time, the assets are fine. United States government treasury bills, prime residential mortgages with borrowers who have excellent credit, investment-grade corporate bonds from blue-chip companies. The asset quality is not the problem. The problem is deposit flight driven by yield competition. And the trigger isn't crisis or panic. It's innovation, better products, higher yields, more convenience. Stablecoins are simply better than bank deposits for many use cases. Objectively better. And once that becomes widely understood, once the infrastructure makes them accessible to mainstream users, the shift accelerates exponentially. Banks understand this completely. That's why they're fighting regulatory approval of yield-bearing stablecoins. That's why banking industry lobby groups are pushing Congress to slow down crypto adoption. That's why Brian Moynihan is publicly warning about $6 trillion in potential outflows. He's not fear-mongering. He's stating mathematical reality based on yield differentials. But the momentum is already too strong. BlackRock's $70 billion Bitcoin ETF proved institutional demand exists. Circle's upcoming March initial public offering will prove stablecoin demand exists at scale. And once both are legitimized, once mainstream financial institutions are offering these products through familiar channels, the deposit flight begins in earnest, not as crisis, as rational consumer choice. Now let's talk about what BlackRock is actually building, because the Bitcoin ETF isn't the end game. It's phase 1 of a multi-phase strategy to dominate digital asset infrastructure. Larry Fink, BlackRock's CEO and founder, has been remarkably public about his views.
Yeah, you kind of get the idea, guys, just to put everything in simple form. The banks are scared, so they're moving into stable coins, and everyone is leaving the banks and flooding into crypto as well. That's what this whole video is about. And that's the reason why the SEC and the banks have been fighting crypto adoption. They don't want it to happen because they know they won't exist. So it's only a matter of time, guys. So prepare. Wow, look at gold. Prepare for Bitcoin, guys. Yeah, Bitcoin's pumping. Prepare, guys. prepare, prepare, prepare. Well, we are prepared for. I know a lot of people are not prepared because they can't believe yet. Most people can't believe something until they see it, so that's expected. Once you see Bitcoin at 90K, 100K, then we'll go to this chart. That's when we will see beliefs. This is most people won't see this until they see it physically. But that's because they're not paying attention to gold or silver. Wow, yeah, Bitcoin is gold is gapping up. Yeah, guys, money is flowing in. Wow. Yeah, Bitcoin is about to explode, guys. Yeah, Bitcoin is about to... Yeah. Any question, guys? Any comments before we close off? Get ready for your wealth, guys. Get ready for your life-changing money. We waited a lot of years for this, and it's actually happening right in front of our eyes. Obviously, our minds will take time to process it. So you may feel some type of way. So it's normal, guys. Just don't do anything crazy. Yeah, it's all happening, guys. Interesting time. All right, guys, we'll close off here. So, yeah. Launch is upon us, guys. Launch is here. I see a lot of people who were asking about lunch didn't show up. Obviously, once we start launching, everyone will show up, guys. We'll see the VC full. We'll see the lives full. That's expected. Everything's about to move very, very fast, guys. So until the next time, I'll see you in the next live. And we'll watch our project start. Most likely the next live will probably already be launch a few projects. So till the next time, guys.
You sorry, Manuel, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead. So
Sorry, you were talking, because you were talking earlier about the premium that you give to all adults like customers. I want to know, are you giving the premium to all adults, or how does the premium works?
yeah, those people have already been selected. It's just people that attended most of the VCs. So I'll release that list very soon. It's just the plan I have. I want to have everything ready and before I reveal everything. So that list has already been chosen.
Okay, that's nice. So um there's certain admins that deserve the premium, right?
Yeah, the
Okay.
people that attended most of the VCs.
Yes. So is the premium for I don't think it's a necessary question, but I just like okay, but don't worry, it's okay.
All right,
Wait for lunch and keep going.
all right.
Okay, so when is the list coming out?
We should be expecting launch within hours now. So this week we should be start launching. So everything will be released this week. So just uh,
Okay. So
just
the
stay.
list will release this week, right?
Yeah, just hang tight.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
All right, guys. Any other question, guys?
sorry, I'm interrupting. I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What if, for example, now there are certain admins that want the premium and they already have premium teach? How do you go about that?
Yeah, then I'll just give you the price it would take to obviously, yeah, if you already have premium, then you can just uh, use the money for whatever else you need. So you'll still get the
Okay, you
rewards.
said okay. It's just as you give them gifts.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thanks for your time.
All right, guys. Have some big plans, guys. Just hold on tight. Any other question, guys?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, go ahead, Ramsey. Ramses.
So what about the new members?
Well, that's being in the community. Uh, you have to earn things. So just starting off, you just coming in. You have to. It's something you have to earn, just like everyone else. So that's why I want everything. I want to make everything fair to everyone else. Um, so
Or
yeah, you just probably have to wait on the next phase once we just keep attending the live VCs, and like I said, we're gonna do a lot of giveaways, a lot of rewards. Uh, you know, just stay active, present, and you know, do what you're supposed to do, and that's it, and you'll be all right.
all right, bro. Thank you, bro.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys at the next live. Peace.